It reads like a divorced guy. The letter itself, you did not need to say he was divorced. When you read it, you see a tired divorced man saying it to you. It is, especially the first line. Do you want to hit this first line? It's the type of thing you want to get tattooed on the back of your back, dude. It's beautiful.
Well, Mr. Big Brother IRS man, ... take my pound of flesh and sleep well.
Let's open up this pit! Oh my gosh. So you're more Diet Coke than Coke Zero.
I always get a DC silver bullet can.
Nice. I like those.
You can't do well, if you can do the glass bottle, that's fine, but plastic bottle, no way.
I'm a styrofoam. I love styrofoam
sick.
Diet Cokes.
Dude, there's a difference between the can and like when you get the fountain.
A
McDonald's,
good fountain?
That's the best.
Okay.
McDonald's is a fantastic example of good fountain. Do you know the best right now is Cabo Bob's Diet Dr. Pepper is unreal good. I asked the guy there, I said, what's going on with the He said, our Diet Dr. Pepper is stored in a metal container.
That's correct. I was actually about to say this. This is what they do for their fountains is they keep them in these metal containers that actually change the flavor profile.
Yeah. So the Diet Dr. Pepper at Cabo Bob's, I've driven, and instead of going to the nearest Diet Coke store by my house, I've driven 15 minutes to get one of those I get a 44. Honestly, dude, I'm not even fucking with you. Last time, I got two 44 ounces, just both for me. That's 80. It's almost 100 ounces of Diet Dr. Pepper.
Was there ice in them?
Yeah, I iced them up.
So this was one sitting. It's not like I got one, no ice to save for later.
No,
because there's time.
Both ready to drink.
You're gonna get watered down if you let that ice melt.
Yeah. So by the time I was home, 144 ounces done. I peed that bad boy out because I love to get a good carbonated to kind of pair with a ciggy. If I get like a Diet Dr. Pepper of a Cabo Bob's quality, or pretty much any Diet Coke, there's nothing I want more than halfway through, crush a ciggy, and then just kind of supplement it with the bubbles from the Diet Coke. I feel like I'm in France. It's so good.
And honestly, that is Parisian living. Have you had the Diet Dr. Pepper cream soda?
Oh,
Marron.
So good. I had those favored to my house. I had a boy bring them to me.
That's al dente, bro.
Those are good. Because they almost have like a savory ass. Because Diet Dr. Pepper is already like the barbecue sauce of Diet Coke, right? Where it kind of has like this, like, ooh, maybe this is a meal. You threw strawberries and cream in there, baby. That's all 3 courses.
That's Sugar Baby Ray's.
Yeah, that's so good. That's so good.
I mean, people do that. I've had Big Red and I've had Dr. Pepper brisket.
Yeah, it's good.
Have you ever had like soda brisket? No. It's the most decadent redneck thing that you can do is you get a prime brisket and then you put like all the fixins, onions, chopped oranges, limes, and then you salt and pepper it, and then you just dump a soda like Big Red, and then you just stick it in the cooker. So you're a meat man.
I'm thinking about doing.
You're a meat man.
I've seen soda pop on this before, where you soda pop a brisket.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
that's good. That's what I did is I mixed like jalapeno pickle juice and butter. That's what I did for my injection liquid and for like my base on my brisket. My injection liquid.
I'm not a huge soda guy because my mom would drink 5 32-ounce sodas a day.
Jesus, I love it.
45 years.
Ain't that America? Home of the free.
There was one time when she would get it from the same gas station every day, and they like gave her a month's free Diet Cokes. She went through it in under a week.
That rules.
They gave her 31 free Diet Cokes, and she got that done in 5 days.
Yeah, 32 ounces.
I have favorite.
Wait. What is a liter? How many ounces is a liter?
This isn't Europe. I drink in ounces. If someone asks me how many liters, liters, 2 liters. I know what 2 liters look like. My fat ass, I know 2 liters. I know what that looks like.
Well, you had a liter of liquor.
I've had a liter of Diet P, Diet.
So
Dr.
that's
P.
a 33.8. So your mom's drinking liters. Soda.
Nice.
That's like it's like a meal deal at Domino's. It's a kind of
That's a good deal.
A party pack, so to speak.
Well, she would if she went on a diet, she would give up all food and keep Diet Coke.
I mean, it's
smart.
a liquid diet. And before we'll talk more soda. But everybody, welcome to the show.
Welcome to Bad News.
This is Bad News with
Sam and JT.
JT Kelley and Sam. I'm Sam Castillo. With me always is
JT Kelley.
And our wonderful, wonderful producer.
Yo, what's up, Jimmy?
It's What's Up, Jimmy.
It's What's Up, Jimmy. What up?
A fucking New Jersey connection. Oh.
I'm the son of the Diet Coke Queen of New Jersey.
She got cut off.
More bubbles than there are counties.
They
in
said,
that
lady,
woman's
try
blood."
liquor. You're drinking mixers. Yeah, I mean, I don't do any Pepsi, and I do not do Coke Zero. It's got to be D.
I love Coke
C.
Zero.
I need that aspartame. I need that chemical aftertaste.
Honestly, any diet dark soda, I'll love. Diet Pepsi. Pepsi Zero. So the gas station by Creek, the place right there,
Yeah.
they only have Pepsi Zero. Except, here's what I like about that place. When you get a styrofoam cup of Pepsi Zero,
Right.
they keep their lids and straws behind the counter.
So smart.
So they're not finger banged by every homeless person in Austin.
Well,
I
that's
love
their
that.
entire clientele is just homeless people.
Yeah, and me. It's homeless people and me. And we look at each other and he goes, I'm happy to see you. I go, yeah, thank you for keeping my lid clean, buddy. I love them over
They're
there.
so grateful when you're walking upright.
if you don't have actual shit on you, they're like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, good to see you, my man.
What happens at these gas stations in downtown Austin around all of the comedy clubs have decided the best place to put our businesses are next to a homeless shelter.
Yeah.
That was decided. It was fine. But now it's very difficult to tell who's who and when you're signing up for open mics or even in a green room sometimes. Actually, when I'm thinking about it, it's actually hard to tell during paid shows.
It's crazy seeing homeless people like standing out with the comics and then blending in a little too well. Or like you talking to someone that you think is signing up for something and you're like, oh, you're a dude that just lives out here. I'm visiting. This is your home.
Some of the homeless guys are funnier than the comics too.
No doubt about that.
I mean,
more time to write.
When I used to run an open mic at a bar that doesn't exist called Love Goat. When I was still going to UT.
Love Goat doesn't exist anymore?
It's gone, Dunzo,
Old
dead.
Austin. They had a drink called Purple Drank.
Yeah,
it was my
dude.
blackout juice.
It was a bar, and all it had was art of goats fucking.
Yeah.
And that was called the Love Goat.
Oh, because they loved goats.
They loved goats.
And they put Everclear in their Purple Drank.
Yeah, it was a bar that just served Everclear.
Yeah, it's the only place
over
we
the
had
counter.
Everclear. That was nuts. It was nuts, yeah.
Like, and sometimes it would be hilarious to see them fix the Everclear. They'd be like and you just hear like during your set, you like the click of it off, like the lid. But I was still in school, and it was an open mic across the street from the University of Texas. So most of the people would sign up for the open mics. There would be like every week there'd be like one theater and dance major who's like, I'm gonna try comedy, and I'm gonna bring 17 of my friends, and that person was the audience. So we would make them go last, so that all their friends had to watch all of us go
It's actually a pretty good
first.
open mic.
And
Every Saturday, right?
yeah, and it would be like Saturday at like 7 before all the shows.
Yeah.
And people could go and pregame and whatnot, and we would always get like one or two drifter vagrants. This is so rude. Back in the day, we used to call them drag rats, because that's called the drag. That's that section that like.
And they like
block.
that nickname. They made that up themselves.
Okay.
They had little patches made for the back of their scary, dirty vest.
For a long time, we weren't allowed to call them that. That was their word. But I got the pass. I got the DR pass.
They were nodding and bumping him as he walked by. They liked him.
Yeah, they said that's my indoor boy right there. I said, don't call me a house.
That's my connection with the debit card right there, my man. There he is. Social security number Sam, we call him.
That's my house rat. Whoa, Bill Maher moment. This thing on, and we would always put like that. Homeless guy before the theater and dance major, or sometimes after, and it would be like a person who's like, oh, I lost the fantasy football league, but one might say I intentionally lost it so I could get on stage, and they're like, so my name is Kelly, I'm a theater and dance major at UT, and then like all their and yeah,
40 people drunk out of their mind to see Kelly really change up the world. Yeah.
and the whole time her hand is just like shaking from the nerves, like just like. And here's the crazy part is the microphone's in the stand and it's still shaking, and it basically just says nothing, and then a guy will go up there And the only thing that isn't shaking in his body is his hands. His whole body. He's got the mic here because he needs to say something, but he's centered with his hand. The rest of him is thrashing. And it's just word salad. It's not, there's words, but they are in a sequential order, but they're not meant to be in that order.
There's a moment where you think this might be the last thing I hear.
This is a cry for help. This is also a death rattle.
Spiritually, this is the death rattle of a generation.
And it's about how he fought and defended, a person in a Waffle House he thinks. And it annihilates Kelley in every comic that we've seen.
Man, one time one of those homeless guys attacked Glenn Rose on stage when Glenn Rose was hosting.
Yeah.
The thing about Glenn's little skinny ass fucking they, them, tiny little non-binary brown belt in jiu-jitsu tackled him to the ground and got him in a headlock. So this homeless guy's attacking this tiny little trans person. This trans person fucking underhooks him, throws him on the ground. It's a really funny story.
That's
Love
wild.
Goat ruled, man.
Yeah.
I was working the door at the creek and I'm checking IDs and there was this homeless guy begging people for money and I'm like, hey man, you got to keep it moving. And he turns to me and he goes, oh, you think your job is so fucking hard? And then he turns to everyone and he goes, I could have been a doorman. I could have learned to check IDs. Fuck you. And then he turns and walks away.
Dunked on your ass, dude. It's like you win, man.
Oh, man.
You could have, really. If you would have been here an hour ago, you probably could have gotten this position right here, in fact. Man.
Oh, man. Yeah. I mean, look, here's the thing. He already had a shirt that said staff on it. So he already had a neon vest.
Yeah. He had staff also.
He had a staph infection.
Man, being a door guy is like the best job in the world. I've loved being a door guy. Oh my God. It's so hard to work after you've been a door guy. Because like door guy, the whole thing is you don't work, you just stand there.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And there's I'm actually not going to say the name of the venue, but there's a venue in town that I worked at where the door guys, if you get even a little bit rowdy, they will just mob you. And I've seen it more than once where someone like pushes a door guy, like a guy is like too drunk or does something too rowdy and does something minor, like pushes a door guy or like gets in their face. And then like 15 metalheads just stomp this guy out and like change the way that guy walks for the next like few months. And it was the most honestly, pretty fun working there. But it was insane seeing that. And everyone was feeling really proud of it afterwards. Like, you see how we handled that? It's like, yeah, no, we saw how you handled that. It was gang-like. It was absolute gang-like. I can't believe there hasn't been some sort of massive lawsuit.
Just Roadhouse.
Yeah. Loved working there. It ruled.
First it came for the blackouts, and I did not speak up.
Oh, man. Whew. There's a gas station by my house where any size Diet Coke is less than $2. No, hang on. This is what I wanted to say. But they have those flavor pumps like you would get at like one of those like Utah drive-through Mormon soda pop shops.
Right.
So now I get vanilla lime Diet Coke for less than $2. I fucking love it. I want to have the drive-through soda pop shops where I go through and I go, oh, can I get a Diet Coke with a half and half and peach? And then they pump it out for me. And I hate that my instincts had to talk like that while ordering something fancy.
They said, sir, you don't have to do that with your wrist.
Said, please, sir, please. You're making all the women here scared. I said, oh, no. I just want something delicious.
You're drying everyone up. It's look, it's the summer. People need to be hydrated. You're causing health concerns. It's August.
I was talking to Sam earlier. I was like, I hate that. Like, all the time, I'll instinctively do like gay up talk, and he's like, yeah, all the time. But I was like, all the time. I don't mean to. It's just instinct. I just talk like that.
And we'll get. And the point of the show, Bad News with JT and Sam, is that we do talk about news that's unsettling, upsetting, and will keep you up at night. It's bad news.
Nothing Christian about it.
But we pepper in our lives, and to be honest, a lot of our lives is diet sodas.
Yeah. Oh, especially these days.
Ooh.
I'm getting a diet soda the second I leave this room.
What they do keep the nicer like fast food restaurants, they keep them in a metal container that changes like the flavor.
Yeah.
I cannot do I mean, we understand the tiering system of diet sodas. One at the bottom of the rung is the gun. at a bar.
Oh, I was like, what? I thought that was the name of a diet soda. And I was like, good branding.
The gun, because you're going to be tasting like sour juice, you know, you're going to be tasting like all the other sodas. It's like the first couple sips is a suicide.
Yeah, it's the worst Diet Coke in the game. I'll drink it. Oh, I'll drink it, but I hate it.
I mean, I'll suckle it down, you know. I gotta
do
do.
like, sometimes they give you a clearing shot where they go, and then they do that. If they do that, it's going to be a little better.
It's a courtesy, but it's not going to do too much. I mean, look, you've already weaseled your way into a guest spot on a showcase. So you're not gonna push and say, "Give me the courtesy swig." You know,
pulling out your credit card. You wanna? Oh, is this okay? Thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much.
And then above the gun would be fountain for me. No, it would be plastic bottle.
Plastic
bottle
yeah.
is better than the gun, but still. Ugh.
Do you think so? Next for you, is it canned or glass?
So you can't find glass Diet Cokes
Not in
only
America.
at grocery stores. Only at grocery stores. So
Fiesta.
So I believe the glass bottle Diet Coke to be better than the can, but I'm not going to be upset when I'm reaching for that silver.
I'm not saying no.
No. You know, and so it's can, glass bottle, and then I would say fountain. Good fountain is the best holy grail, but it's got to be like a great fountain. So it's good fountain, can, bottle, great fountain.
Great fountain.
Great fountain is the greatest, but it's...
I'll take a mid fountain over a plastic bottle.
Oh,
Just
of
because
course,
I prefer
of
the
course.
styrofoam. I love it because I want 44 ounces. If they sold like a 40, like a tall can, like a Mickey's 40 of Diet Coke, I would probably switch back
You
to
could
plastic.
slam it on the fucking
Dude,
sidewalk.
I'd love if they gave it to me in a paper bag. You know what I mean? Gave it to me, it's like all around. Oof,
Here's why
that.
you like it in the styrofoam. It's because you're a Christian. Christians love styrofoam.
We do.
Because it just they get to hurt the earth because they have dominion over the earth.
I knew this lady one time that said, "Oh, the Indian food truck by your house is serving its food in styrofoam. I'm gonna let the guy know how bad that is for the environment." And I remember thinking,
What'd
like,
you tell your wife?
I will beat you senseless if you go and take the styrofoam because it keeps the food warm on the drive home.
Yeah.
That's what, and if you take that from him, I will stop eating there. You're taking money out of my man's mouth and food out of my belly by taking the styrofoam away from me. Christians love styrofoam.
You ever try to do a rail with a paper straw? you really test the limits of how much you care about the earth.
When I went to Denver,
You look at it, you go. Every time I had a paper straw, I was like, I don't think we need all these national parks. Sorry, you were in Denver.
No, I went to
Mile
Denver,
High City.
and every place had paper straws. Every single place, and my first thought was, I will gladly take illegal weed for plastic straws. If you're saying, oh, this was the trade-off, sure, we have legal weed, but now your straw has to go like this after like 2 sips. No, thank you. Going like this is for after you order a delicious Diet Coke, okay? That's the only time I want something going like this.
I don't want to buy weed from someone named Shiloh.
Yeah.
I want to buy it indirectly through the cartel.
I feel like there's a better way of doing it without the paper straws.
Yeah.
They don't have to be plastic. Like, we've been on the moon, maybe. We can't figure out straws.
You think we were on the moon?
What did this? You go to a bar, and they're like, we wash, we sanitize, and they have like in a prepackaged thing that they reseal. And like kind of like fancy Chinese restaurants will like use metal chopsticks and they'll put it in they'll seal it in a thing and you tear it open so you know someone has dined with this chopsticks before but it's been washed.
Yeah.
They use that for the glass straw at a bar.
Glass straw.
And then you rip it open like a thing and then you're like, I mean, not glass, a metal straw.
Okay,
So
I
then
feel
you're
like a little lab rat.
oh, yeah. Then you can. I mean,
Send it from above for me.
a glass straw. I mean, that's freebasing. Under the bridge sometime.
One time I bought crack off this homeless dude over by the arch, and I said, I need to go get a pipe. And homeboy said, nah, and broke his pipe in half and stuck some Brillo in the half for me and gave it to me. And I was like, dude, thank you. It was such like a cool I got you move. Homeboy broke his fucking glass stick in half and just Brillo'd out the part of it for me to be able to smoke crack without having to go buy a pipe.
That is sweet.
I was like, dang, dude.
That's
It's MacGyver right there.
That's
Yeah.
mutual aid.
It's the closest thing I've had to family. I love you, dude. Man, what's the story we're talking about?
We got a couple, but the first story is a local favorite. I tell this to people from here in Austin, and none of them remember it. And it was long ago, but it wasn't like that long ago.
I wasn't in diapers.
Yeah, I've been in diapers since 2011. Oh, this story happened in 2010.
Okay, I was diapered out.
Fuck.
I was diapered out.
I was diped. We're going to talk about Andrew Joseph Stock III today. AJS 3.
JS.
Just to start off, I love how the Wikipedia page says that this 2010 Austin suicide attack was part of terrorism in the U.S. Like it was just like
It wasn't the main.
It wasn't. Yeah, it
wasn't the entree.
Yeah.
A bit of an appetize, if you will.
Well, it's like a Thai fusion, you know. It's like Corriente. It's like Latino inspired, but it's like also Korean. You know, it's suicide adjacent. It's terrorism infused.
Spiritually, it's terrorism. Technically, just a worn out fella.
One of the things that I've heard that like people do, the Mormons, because they can't have like hot caffeinated drinks, is that they like. I remember like my uncle was like, whenever I'd go, he was living in like Lake Tahoe, California.
Beautiful
and he would go
area.
over to Nevada all the time to do business, like because Reno was right there. It was like the big city, so he would commute into Nevada for work. And he would tell me that like a popular drink people would get would be caffeinated water. They'd buy dehydrated caffeine powder and then just put it in a glass of water and stir it up.
It sounds evil.
And that was the loophole for having hot coffee.
Man, that sounds like trouble. That sounds like someone that's bad. That sounds scientific. That sounds like, microplastics, autism. That sounds like the cause of that
Makes
stuff.
you want to do a paper straw, huh?
Yeah, that makes me want to do a paper straw
That
right
makes
there.
me want to go back to the earth, go back to Gaia.
I got to stop letting Bluetooth get in my brain, dude. It's make me want to make fucking caffeine a powder to mix with water.
It's so crazy you mentioned that. We're talking about that on the next episode.
Wow.
So here in Austin, there's a local figure who he wrote a letter and he flew his personal plane into the IRS building off of Mopac in North Austin, which, can you imagine? The traffic on Mopac is already bad enough, and then you've got half a building on it.
Backed up for days. Trying to explain that to your boss at Starbucks.
no, really,
No, for real though.
no,
Like,
for real.
someone flew their plane into the IRS building. It was so if you guys want to look up the story, it's Joseph Stock III suicide attack. I would say that semantically that can be other things, but we'll read the letter in a sec. But what happened was,
You know what I never noticed is he
Go ahead.
posted the suicide note to his own website.
right.
I never thought about that.
Well,
He had his own website.
Yeah, he had his
What a
own
weirdo.
site.
If you have your own website and you don't own a business or something, you're a weirdo.
Right. Yeah, you're supposed to. It's 2010 by then. You're supposed to post it on your Tumblr.
Yeah. Put that shit on Tumblr, buddy.
Yeah, talk about, it's just you. It's 2010, so it's like this guy and then like the burgeoning furries, the beginning furries.
This guy was born the same year as my father.
Oh, how does that make you feel?
They could have been friends.
They could have been friends.
They would have been friends.
He flew his plane, and it unfortunately did kill one person. His name was Vernon. He was a manager in the IRS, which is the only job you can have if your name is Vernon.
So the only job at IRS. I'm a manager there.
What are we going to name the baby? Vernon. All right, I look forward to this little bureaucrat growing up. Look, I mean, he's not going to run track in the Olympics, you know? A lot of other people were hurt. I'd say the taxpayers. They were deprived.
Who was hurt? The consumer. As per usual. As per usual.
No, we don't want to laugh at anyone's pain or death. We do mourn the losses. We also, I do mourn the loss as well, I'd say, of AJS3.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like the idea that someone was pushed to suicide.
I'm just as sad for Vernon's family as I am for AJS's 3 family.
Yeah.
You know? Both of those
Um,
children of God under a darkened sky.
If they had just had a broken straw and a Brillo pad.
Broken just to get you through the night, man. That's what you do. What you've done onto the least of these, you've done onto me. If Jesus Christ bought crack off of me and didn't have a piece,
The thing is, they keep the crack in a metal canister.
that's how. No, they keep their crack in their mouth, dude. you ever had a dude spit a little crack into your hand while you're buying crack off the street from them because they keep it in their mouth?
I keep a pump of lime and a pump of vanilla. And I go, ooh.
Good good crack. There is good crack and bad crack. Let's not pretend like there's not.
What's the name of that little robot from Star Wars that goes,
wow! Dude, crack and Diet Coke, the mix of those two, yak me the fuck out, dude. That is a beautiful Sunday afternoon, dude. You can burn down some hard and crush a styrofoam of Diet Coke. Fucking talk about the government. Man, that'd get me, dude. That would get me. Man.
He did so. Can you pull up the second link? It's going to be his letter, which is what I do. I do want to explore. And the concept of letters in recent months have been popular. The Timothy McVeigh letter was kind of unearthed again. Mm-hmm. The Osama bin Laden letter was unearthed.
Popular on TikTok. That was crazy about the Osama bin Laden letter. Is like people on TikTok were reading it and being like, is Osama bin Laden smart?
And so we'll take turns reading this, but the first line is, and this is, I think, to really explore why he flew his plane into the IRS building, we got to understand, like, just this guy, and and in his own words. So I mean, this is a man who's gone through divorce. Clearly,
it reads like a divorced guy. The letter itself, you did not need to say he was divorced. When you read it, you see a tired divorced man saying it to you. It is, especially the first line. Do you want to hit this first line? It's the type of thing you want to get tattooed on the back of your back, dude. It's beautiful.
Well, Mr. Big Brother IRS man, ... take my pound of flesh and sleep well.
Let's open up this pit.
If you're reading this, no doubt you're asking yourself, why did this have to happen? The simple truth, it is complicated and has been coming for a long time. Pause. This is a man who's been pushed. I mean, he was listening to Linkin Park. One step closer to the edge. I'm about to break.
It's funny how trapping life feels when you realize that a man feels completely cornered against the wall is the same man that owns a plane.
Yeah,
I thought life would get better. If I owned a plane, I feel like my life would be perfect.
This is one of the things that confuses me is you only hear about like a rhetoric about like a violent uprising. This is how we'll take the capitalists. It's always like someone who can't lift a chair, and they kind of have like my body features and haircut
and my work ethic.
They have this haircut, and they're like, a Marxist revolution will come and rain blood in the streets, and it's like, you're not going to do anything. What you need, first of all, is the resources of an upper middle class man who's been harassed by the IRS and divorced twice. That's the guy who's actually going to go do something, as someone who took a gamble on capitalism and lost.
I'm called a man of action. How do you know? I own a plane. That's a man of action thing to do.
Oh, you're a revolutionary. You have a degree in social work.
That's interesting. Oh, you're a revolutionary. Where's the plane in which you're going to attack infrastructure through?
Correct.
Oh, mine's in my hangar.
Only $236 a month. That's what it said.
Really?
What?
Inflated, that's probably 500, 480, maybe 475.
Pretty cheap.
That seems pretty cheap.
Honestly, yeah.
Also, there's a lot of planes that are about the price of a new car. Like, you can get a small plane for like 60, 70 grand these days. I'm not planning anything. And also, if I'm going to go to war, last person I want to go to war with is the IRS, man. If I'm going to go to war, dude, I'm flying to Mexico. I'm taking on the cartels, baby. If this episode is fucking JT goes to war, dude, he's taking on the cartels. All right, dude, one-man battle.
I mean, I don't know. Do you really want to go? You said you want to fight the cartel.
I'm going to go.
Do you really want to go against that arm of the CIA? Come on, folks. Can't do. All right, stinker.
Oh, man.
One of the things, though, but in actuality, this is what's so, to me, interesting about this guy. This isn't the classic painting, and they do try to push him. There is like the Killdozer Havenmeyer guy. Mm-hmm. There is like what they try to make McVeigh, Big B. There is these images of like the Ruby Ridge inspired militiaman who was pushed to the brink, who like made his own bullets, made his own beef jerky, never left a compound.
A picture of a survivalist that just wants to live on his own. Yeah.
who really just wanted to be opted out of the system. Or it's always the person who was an overeducated, over-nurtured, over-self-actualized leftist. And the person who actually attacks the government where it hurts, which is their finances, is neither of these images that the media projects. It's not a terrorist that they're pretending is at the southern border either. It's a guy with kids who played sports. It's a guy who, was involved in the YMCA league sports. It's a guy who was PTA, had a plane, was an entrepreneur, college educated, lived in a community, and then just one day snapped.
This guy didn't take the bus to
That's actually
work.
who does these things. That's actually someone who's in the Matrix and then wakes up. That's who actually does these violent outbursts.
This is a guy your dad played friends with. This is a guy that, if Vernon wasn't working at the IRS, he probably would have seen at some sort of activity. You know what I mean? This is a normal ass, middle class ass dude.
Yeah, this is a dude. This is a dude who played horseshoes on the weekends with a couple beers.
No doubt, dude. A guy that's been to more than one barbecue.
Just nasty at words with friends.
2010, dude. Yeah. This guy was definitely playing words with friends. This guy was probably a Candy Crusher at one point.
Yeah.
Honestly, we're going over to Amanda's house. Her dad, Andrew Joseph Stock III. He has this card game called Words Against Humanity, or Cards Against Humanity.
It's hilarious.
It's like apples to apples, but kind of fucked
But
up.
a little bad. But a little bad.
But a little bad. It's 2010. While we're reading this letter, can you Google hit top 40 pop of 2009? Because this was so early in 2010 that he was listening to top 40 of 2009.
Fire Burning by Sean Kingston is the #1 song.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Waking Up. Oh, Katy Perry was so big. So he's listening to I Kissed a Girl. And then he's flying his plane.
Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, yeah.
Boom, boom, pow.
Okay, class.
Boom, boom, pow. Yeah, dude, that was his MK Ultra trigger.
Yeah, all right. Jason Mraz.
All my single ladies. Oh, man.
2009. And so in the letter, he does explain one of the things that pushed him to attack the IRS is that he saw the government bail out the big banks during the 2008 financial crisis.
Crazy to see.
I know.
How do you explain that if you're a person with a brain?
Okay, let's scroll up a little bit, right? Go down a little bit. Keep going down, all right, stop right here. We're all taught as children that without laws, there would be no society, only anarchy. Sadly, starting at early ages, we in this country have been brainwashed to believe that. In return, our dedication, service, and government stands for justice for all. We're all, oh, sorry, this light is in my way. Further brainwashed to believe that there are freedoms in this in this place, and that should we be ready to lay down our lives. And this is during a time when he's seeing his nephews go fight in Iraq and Afghanistan. Kids his nephews' ages. All of those was no taxation without representation. That's something that the founding fathers spoke for. I've spent the total of my years, adulthood, unlearning the crap, which I love a good dad word. Crap is a dad word.
He's sick of the bull crap that the system is feeding us kids.
What he's
The bull
basically
crap.
explaining is that he's finding that his taxes are not actually helping his children, his community, his schools, his infrastructure. They're not helping the less fortunate or even the more fortunate. What they're doing is they're just funding wars. They're funding wars. They're bailing out the banks. And when you imagine someone who's a little more fortunate than you, the average American just thinks someone with a nicer car than them. They don't think about someone who lives in Bethesda, Maryland, and the Beltway outside of D.C. They're thinking of the guy who goes to a country club in Cleveland because you live in Cleveland and you don't really understand where the richest actually
It's funny
live.
when people think 1%, they really don't even have a concept. You
No.
really don't even have a concept because even the rich people that you know in your life, the financial difference between the millionaires and multimillionaires that you personally know and the untouchable multi-billionaires that are nameless and not even real identifiable businesses anymore that you can say this person is rich from this is such a massive difference. You wouldn't be able to fucking comprehend it. You've seen the videos or whatever where it's this is a grain of rice. Each one is $1 million. This is how much Jeff Bezos has, right?
Right.
And it's an insane big thing of rice. It's yeah, Jeff Bezos is the type of billionaire we know the name of. Most of the richest people in the world, their wealth is hidden in things offshore accounts and shit like that, to where it's you're multi-generations of families of bajillion dollars from Europe in the old world, Those people, they could buy me. They could buy my entire life. They could buy my family and delete me from history.
There are millionaires that can buy you, JT.
I feel like if you guys work together, you could buy me.
The question is,
We could pull that money together with a GoFundMe.
Go fund that from the homies.
the question is, would these billionaires buy you?
I'll do anything. Please save me.
I mean, one of the things I remember like years ago, like on mushrooms, it was like I took mushrooms. I was like, I'm gonna go for a walk outside. There was a hailstorm. I couldn't go outside. Trapped inside. And I'm on Wikipedia. I discovered that there was a family in Italy from like the year like 200 or something, and maybe even like 1100. It was like right after the Renaissance, and their name was Bancheri, Banceri, and they invented banking. Like they invented
Bancheri. The banky.
They invented what this original Bancheri would do, or maybe it was Banchieri. Maybe type in like Bancheri or Bancheri.
I like how you're just saying it with more spice, not trying to spell it better. Try a Bancheri. Oh, maybe it's a Bancheri. Try that instead. I believe it's a Bancheri. Created bank system. That's great. You Google like me. Medici. It's the Medici that comes up.
Not that Medici.
You think the Medici is going to be able to be found? You could find the boys on the Medici's Wikipedia page.
And this isn't a good argument. I'm defending Andrew John Stock III, and I'm not defending the
I
death.
didn't say I'm defending.
I'm not defending. What I'm trying to do is understand.
I want to understand, and if we understand aspects of what he did and sympathize with aspects of what he thought, doesn't mean we defend him flying a plane into a building, but let's not pretend like that came from fucking nowhere. And I feel like people paint me as a psychopath when I say, oh, he flew into a building. Why? What made him want to do that? And people go, he's crazy. Sure. I'm not going to say he's not crazy.
No.
But it's not like he did that in a vacuum. It's not like he did that, woke up one day and said, I got to fucking attack the IRS. Things made him want to do that. Whether it's justified or not is a different question.
Correct.
But we want to understand why he did that. I want to understand what made him do that, because it's not like he did that just because he had some crazy pill in his brain or he got MK Ultra. This is a dude with his family. This is a dude that took his kid to sports. You know what I mean? He got pushed.
We do, because you hear these, like, you look at, like, violent outbursts, like a mass shooting in a grocery store. And, you know, there's the idea of, like, bullying, or maybe it was, like, racism, or there was they just vaguely will sometimes just say mental illness, or access to, like, too much violence as a child. But this is not that. This is a protest. And
this is the same as the monks lighting themselves on fire in Tibet.
Honestly, yeah.
As far as the political actions go, this is the same fucking thing.
We don't even know that he intended to kill anyone. He wanted to destroy an edifice. He wanted to hurt a building. He only killed one person besides himself. It was, I believe, a pure intended suicide as a political protest. Yeah, this is a photo of him right here in the hat, you know, but
a lot of photos of him rocking.
We'll scroll down in the letter. One of the things in the next paragraph of the letter is it explains how, and he does not have a political stance. He was not
Oh man, and like that,
a Republican or a Democrat.
The word
this
says
is not a party line act.
Like, why is it that a handful of thugs and plunderers can commit unthinkable atrocities, and in this case of the GM executives, for scores of years, and when it is time for their gravy train to crash, the weight of their gluttony and overwhelming stupidity, the force of the full federal government has no difficulty coming to their aid within days, if not hours. To act as that isn't like some sort of reasonable statement.
Right.
Like you hear that and you go, yeah, why is it that these absolute gangsters, plunderers is a fantastic word for the executives of GM and all the banking executives that got out of this, bailout from all of our taxes, our fathers' hard work and our grandfathers' property taxes pay for these dudes just to commit crimes.
Your mother and father are working to raise you as another drone in the machine while they themselves are working as drones in the machine.
Yeah.
And all of that work ends up going into these bailouts, because after the banks were bailed out in the fall of 2008, in the spring of 2009, all of the audio manufacturers were bailed out as well. That's what he's referencing here when he says GM executives. Sorry, you go ahead. I just wanted to remind, we have such a young audience. I didn't want them to know what is even Because this was 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
Yet at the same time, the joke we all call the American medical system, including the drug and insurance companies, are murdering tens of thousands of people a year and stealing from the corpses and victims they cripple. And this country's leaders don't see this as important as bailing a few of the rich cronies out. Yet politicals representatives, and then he throws some parentheses. I love this. Thieves, liars, and self-serving scumbags is far more accurate. Have endless time to sit around for year after year and debate the state of the terrible healthcare problem. It's clear they see no crisis as long as dead people don't get in the way of their corporate profits rolling in. Like this sounds like a professor at UT trying to rally his students for political action. Like this isn't the ravings of a madman. This isn't a loud dude on the bus. This isn't a result of the mental health crisis in America. This is a dude that looked at the news and said, I'm fucking worn out. Like this is the most reasonable guy.
He's attacking the pharmaceutical industry. He right now sounds like a presidential candidate.
Yeah, before they get to primaries.
He sounds like a Kennedy right now. He sounds like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. You know, the dynasty political family Kennedy. He sounds like one of the most beloved family members of this country who people consider royalty.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. And I mean, even mirroring these ideas politically today would be outlandish. If you mirror these political ideas where it's like, we shouldn't bail out billionaires, we should pay for healthcare, we should punish all the people that, we should punish all the people that did our opiate crisis and our housing crisis. Like that would never run on a platform. No one that said that could ever be president or even considered reasonable. And this is just a dude that flew his plane into a building.
This is the talk of someone who would be assassinated if they didn't fly their plane into the IRS
100%,
yeah. Let's scroll down a little bit. Oh, Catholic Church. He's really attacking every institution on the right and left, which is the only way to really create change, is to break outside of the brainwashing of the binary of politics.
No stone unturned. That's what's great about this letter is he hits on all of it. He hits on all of it. Ain't a single riff he won't riff on, dude. He rules. Well,
can you just do the first sentence, the intent of this exercise? Right here.
Read that?
Yeah, can you
I know
read
how
that?
to read, yeah.
No, I'm not. Come on,
Are you asking me?
Yeah, can you? I'm sorry, I have the light in front of the screen. I can't read it.
The intent of this exercise and our efforts was to bring about a much-needed reevaluation of the laws that allowed the monsters of organized religion to make such a mockery of people who earn an honest living. However, this is where I learned that there are two interpretations for every law. One for the very rich, and one for the rest of us. Oh, and the monsters are the very ones making and enforcing the laws. The Inquisition is still alive and well today in this country.
And right now, he is not mentioning what these guys will be painted when they try to make him like a right figure, like someone who's on the right, because attacking the IRS is such a fringe right or libertarian, Republican trope, because the IRS pulls in money for taxation. So the left is always seen as supportive of the IRS because the left wants social spending. They want socialized things that can only come from taxation. So the right is always put as this party or group of political ideology that hates the IRS. That is the least Republican or right thing that you could say, which is attacking religion as stating the fact and the obvious that there are double standards based upon wealth. This is,
It's also just a matter of fact, too. Like, you can't really argue with anyone politically if they don't agree, hey, the rich literally run the world. Whether you either think that's a good thing or a kind of good thing or a good thing or a bad thing or a kind of bad thing. You don't disagree with that anymore. Like, no one disagrees that the rich run the world and make the laws anymore, right?
Right.
Like, that's just what people think. Man, did you guys ever see the battle for Seattle, the protest in '99 over the World Trade Conference?
Yes.
What's interesting about that is there was a lot of libertarian groups that partnered up with anarchists and communists in '99 to go and protest the World Trade, whatever that's called, like the Davos or some shit, whatever it is. But it's this fascinating when you really look at the political interest behind the protest and how successful and how much monetary loss a lot of organizations faced because of those protests. It makes you go like, damn, libertarians, They're not so different. They got separated by like the Koch brothers and the American schools. They used to be just like anti-government people.
In the late 90s, we saw this really interesting blip in time and ideology. It was the beginning of the end of ideology. Slavoj Žižek wrote a novel in 2002 really synthesizing what was happening in the early 2000s and late 90s, which was that we began a post-ideological world. We had tried all of the ideologies. We had seen communism fail, and then eventually we saw capitalism fail. We saw democracy fail. We saw authoritarianism fail. We saw every ideology crumble. And we live now in a post-ideological society where the individual is now left to be their own everything, which is an impossible ask. You see this time where you have these libertarians and these anarchists who are at odds coming together because they see what's left of power attacking everyone that isn't them. It was a consolidation. Alex Jones in the 90s was attacking George W. Bush. He was enjoyed and celebrated by the left.
I would love to see early Alex Jones stand up at the DMV and be like, you're giving away your rights by letting the federal government decide if you can drive or not. Because I 100% would have been one of those dudes that's like, hey, it's a good point, man. Yeah, hey, it's a good point. I wish I could renegotiate these laws. That's a good point, man. Yeah.
And in 1993, I would have been one of those guys who goes, oh, quit your belly aching. Just shut up and focus on real problems.
Well, if you worked harder, your life would be better, which is true.
True.
If you work harder, your life does get better.
God knows. God
true.
knows that ain't a lie. But you see all of these repealings of like NAFTA. You see the Glass-Steagall Act get taken apart. And you see the rise of Davos, Bilderberg, and the WTO. You see the rise of special interest groups like the Foreign Relations Council, which is not an actual political party. It is a private organization in New York City, in Midtown, rise. And you start to see the party candidates. What is the difference? What even is the difference between an H.W. Bush and a Bill Clinton?
You know, I knew a guy that was a Fedai guerrilla in Iran. And he told me one time, he goes, what's interesting about America, he goes, you guys just have Republicans who want their oil money and Democrats who want their healthcare money. And he goes, and Iranians, we laugh at you. I'm like, I wouldn't exactly say you got it all figured out, Mr. Failed Fedai guerrilla. I was living in the U.S., buddy. How'd your guerrilla army movement go, Fedais? It's a sad story.
It is so sad.
It's a sad story. Just like laughing or celebrating this guy, it's not fun to laugh at the failures of the Fedai. And I'm sorry for your struggle.
And for that, RB.
You know what? I think when Sam and I are in charge of the U.S., and again, I start doing gay voice and I start doing this, I don't know what it is. Instinct has me doing this.
My man is building a political constituency. He's getting that San Francisco vote.
When Sam and I are the Harvey and the Milk of the federal government, we're going to make it. We're going to make everything better, first off. Second, Iran, we're going to be friends again.
Buddies.
Yeah. The Darien Gap. We're just going to take all of our resources, invade that area, and make that a fucking beautiful resort.
Ich bin ein Persian. Let's scroll down to the very last paragraph. For those of you who want to take a deeper dive, it's a very easy article to find.
And a lot of it makes good points. If I could sum up my vibe of this letter, it's pretty much a manifesto similar to anyone else that's a smart guy that sees the criticisms of this world and can't get past it, doesn't understand that he should, maybe focus his energies on organizing his community or something impactful, maybe starting a GoFundMe for the peasant revolt in Brazil, or maybe something good that's going to happen out there. And he says, I got a plane, dude, and I'm fucking sick and tired, but I have a fucking plane. That's this guy.
I want you, JT, if you can read right where it says I saw it written, and then read down to the very end of the obituary.
Man, I saw written once that the definition of insanity is repeating the same process over and over and expecting the outcome to suddenly be different. I'm finally ready to stop this insanity. Well, Mr. Big Brother IRS man, let's try something different. Take my pound of flesh and sleep well. The communist creed. From each according to his ability, to each according to his need. The capitalist creed. From each according to his gullibility, to each according to his greed. Joe Stack, 1956 to 2010, February 18th, 2010. I thought at first the date was going to be his phone number, and that'd be a very funny thing to put at the bottom of a suicide note. Any questions or concerns?
I like the idea of the end of an email where it says Joe Stack, and then it'll say like consultant at, and it'll have C dot, and it'll his cell phone number, and then H dot his home number.
Joe,
Do you think
Joe Stack, he/him.
so?
Joe Stack, he they.
He, they, neurodivergent, bipolar.
And this man isn't a communist either. One of the things that's so interesting about him is he does personify this American migration for the pursuit of self-betterment. And he was a guy from Ohio, and then he went to school there. He started a business. He really got into computer like engineering and like the late 80s before the internet even was a thing. And he moved to Austin because it was a small beginning tech.
He worked in software.
City. This was a software city before it was anything. People say Austin was ruined by tech. Austin was tech.
Austin was built because of tech.
Built because of politics. Austin was built ruined by politics and tech. That's all it ever was.
Where did Karl Rove live?
Highland Park, Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
But
Wait, really? Why was Karl Rove in Austin all the time then? Did he just work here?
well,
he also taught here.
He was the campaign manager for W when he was governor.
Yeah. And he also did the judiciary elections from here. Dude, have you seen that movie Hot Coffee? It's about tort reform and Karl Rove's involvement in judiciary elections across the country. Bro,
Yeah, I
so good.
never saw that movie.
So freaking good.
He keeps a house in Austin.
Oh, does
Yeah.
he really?
I remember one time me and my friend saw him. I swear to God, this is true. Me and my friend saw him outside of Houndstooth Coffee in like 2013. And my friend goes, Carl! And he turns around and look at us. And me and him both just start booking it towards Karl Rove. And Karl Rove just gets in his car and starts driving away because we were like maybe 80, 60 yards away. And we both start laughing because we were like, what were we going to do? And it's like, were we going to try to fight Karl Rove? We just started running towards him. But I have no idea what we planned on doing. It's not like, it's like that scene from The Joker where he's like, I wouldn't know what to do. I'm like that dog that's chasing a car. And I'm like, if we would have gotten close to him, were you going to hit him? He's like, dude, I don't know. But just two young drug addicts recognizing Karl Rove on the streets of Austin and then beelining it towards him. But yeah, he gets in his car and drives away. And I was like, dude, what, were we about to make like a life-changing choice right there? Like, the fuck was that,
Carl,
dude?
take my flesh.
And sleep well.
And we can go back to the original Google Doc on the far left. Well, we're done with the letter. One of the things that I think to understand Joe Stack would be to kind of understand his family. I don't have a link for this in the Wikipedia page, and I did find and watch the video, which would have been smart to have it here, but it's fine. His daughter, the day it happened, or the next day after it happened, was interviewed by Good Morning America. And she said, what my dad did wasn't wrong. Like, she wasn't upset. And then eventually she had to like make an apology because eventually Vernon did pass away. And so she's like, hey, my bad.
Initially, they thought no one died. Initially, they thought it was just, and I mean, it's kind of assumed, and especially when his daughter Samantha talks about it, that it was purely and solely for property damage. That it was his overall goal was just to take money away from this federal government and not to hurt anybody. But who knows? This is a guy that had a plane. That's a crazy man.
One of the things as to why he was so against the IRS is that he was heavily audited. And when you are a self-employed person, and we have friends, I mean, a comedian friend of ours runs a carpet and tile washing business where he does that himself. He is making the appointments. He is driving out there and he's cleaning the floors and he is managing the payroll all for himself. That's a ton of work on top of being a father, which he is, single father, and being a comedian pursuing his art and being a member of his like family and community. And he hired an accountant who was a friend of his to help him, and the accountant just fucked up when it came to reporting all of like the expenses to run the business and income that came in, and he ended up owing $40,000 to the IRS because of that mistake. And essentially that's what happened originally to Joe Stack. It's very this tax system is designed to punish
Yeah.
The non-financially literate.
We could get really into the weeds on this as to why it is, but no other country does taxes like this. This was intentionally designed by like accounting lobbyists and tax business lobbyists like TurboTax to intentionally keep our tax system confusing and intentionally keep small business owners paying hand over fist. Like other countries just sends you a fucking tax bill.
Yeah.
Every other country just sends you a tax bill.
We crunch the numbers. This is what you owe.
Yeah. And if they mess up, they go, oh, that's our bad.
RB.
Here, I can go and see a certified tax professional, and he can do this to me to where I owe the feds $40K, and that tax professional will go, well, that's your taxes, babe. Next time, hire someone better. Why did I do gay voice again? Why do I always do debutante voice every day? I look like I should be a cool country boy. Why does instinct go, yeah.
Too much cream in your soda.
Too much cream in my say, ain't that the truth? I've had a little too many light-colored Diet Cokes, if you will.
This one's cloudy. So that is the harassment by the IRS is what pushed him, and we're both going to get audited because of this episode now.
Bring it on. I ain't got no money. I
can rent a plane.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
What is this voice?
It's just not gay. It was just my straight. I go, I'm straight now.
This is your Clint Eastwood?
I'm not gay. Hey, go ahead. I don't know.
It sounds like Steven Seagal.
I don't want to kiss boys on the lips. I've never even thought about kissing a boy on the lips.
I've been flying planes for 47 years.
All I think about is flying planes to get good pussy across the country.
I've been getting audited by the IRS for 85 years.
I like Clint Eastwood in that movie where he just hates Chinese people.
Why? Why do you like that?
That's hilarious. Because he said, what's your dream role? He goes, bunch of China people on my yard. And they go, yeah, what do you do? I point a gun at them and they get
think
scared.
what JT likes is the growth where the character becomes not racist.
I don't think that happens. I think he stays racist. And at the end, his big crescendo is he points a gun at a bunch of Chinese people to trick them into shooting them, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the whole thing?
He turns to the boy and he goes, you're one of the good ones.
Yeah. There's no growth for Clint Eastwood in that movie. I feel like we watched two different movies. I just saw a movie of a guy hating Chinese boys from birth to death. Or not even Chinese Hmong people, right? Like they're nomadic outside of China. It's the
I
Hmong.
thought they were Laotian.
Oh, okay. Oh,
I
yeah.
remember.
They're Hmong. That's the nomadic tribe of the Laotians. No, the Hmong people are a nomadic tribe, and they think their head's holy. Their head right here. Their head right here.
One of the things we thought would also be shout out to Samantha Stock the third. I don't know if she's the third.
AJS4 keeping the legacy alive.
She did stick up for her dad. She did say what he did, he's a hero. She called him a hero and then had to backtrack because of the death. And look, regrettable.
Yeah.
Sad.
But
at that point, I guess everyone in this room can say Andrew Joseph Stack the third. I called him Stock for so much of that, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, the whole episode you called him Stock.
That is, it's a 10 o'clock. It's a 10 a.m. podcast, people. It's a Saturday.
That's a comedian. 6 a.m.
I had shows till midnight, and you think I stayed up?
Yeah, I went to a birthday party. I was gone by midnight, to be honest. I was asleep by 11:30.
I
didn't do the whole late night thing. I don't.
You had your sleepy time tea.
I love my sleepy time tea. It has chamomile in it. It tastes like blueberry. I love it.
I had a wild night. I was in a hot tub with a homeless guy for like 30 minutes last night.
Are you serious?
Why?
Yeah, I didn't know he was homeless until he started asking us for alcohol and drugs.
That's funny.
Yeah,
Where is this hot tub? Your new apartment?
My new apartment, yeah, he snuck in. The
I've been
maintenance
that guy.
man chased him away. He's like, "You're back again?"
My friend Elon used to live in this apartment that had really easy to access hot tubs. So me and my friends would go there all the time. But one time me and my friend Tomas and his homegirl T came, and T was a little bit rowdier than us. And then this cop came up and he's like, "Hey, I'm the courtesy officer of the apartment. You guys got to go." And she was like, "Fuck you, pig." And he was like, "Are you kidding me?" And walked into the pool and was like, "You guys got to go." And she was like, "Drag my ass out of here then." Because she knew he was off duty and wasn't going to do anything. And I didn't really catch what was going on. I stood out of the pool. I was like, "Yo, T, let's just leave. What are you doing?" And she was like, "Yeah, what?" He was like, "I'll call the police and they'll back me up." And she was like, "No, they're not, dude. You're going to call the police and they're going to laugh at you and not come." And they didn't. and he followed us around the apartment complex for hours, and she was just taunting him. I thought we were gonna get shot by a mad off-duty police officer.
Yeah, you were gonna get Zimmerman.
I 100% thought like she's gonna get a shot by this cop because she was like bullying him and being like, "You're not gonna touch me. You're scared to because you're off work. You know you can't do anything right now without causing a big scene."
One step closer to the edge.
Yeah.
I'm about to break.
Yeah. Yeah, that was close. But yeah, I haven't been to that apartment since. I've been scared to. But really easy to access hot tub. Really easy to access hot
Maybe
tub.
The
my
Lennox
apartment.
Apartments on Pleasant Valley. And again, one more apology to the Stack family. My bad. It's
Rest in power.
Rest in power on the name mispronunciation. I almost mispronunciation. We thought it'd be nice to think about. Letterboxd didn't exist at the time that this happened. What would be on his letterbox before he flew the plane in the building?
He was a dad, so Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
I think so too.
Without a doubt, Beverly Hills Chihuahua was in the mix. That's something every dad has seen more than once.
I think Jacob's Ladder as well. I think it's something wildly heavy.
Soul Plane.
Honestly, anything with Eddie Griffin.
Soul Plane too.
I think he was a big white chicks guy.
Finding Nemo 2 was right in this era.
I think, what was your favorite movie from the late aughts?
Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo?
Yeah, Finding Nemo, without a doubt. Yeah. Finding Nemo. Oh, School of Rock. What year did that come out?
2004, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a little earlier.
Right.
I don't know if we'd even deployed out yet, you know? I don't know if we'd...
Look at Karl Rove. What a beauty queen.
What a
That's
shiny...
what power looks like.
What a shiny little ham.
School of Rock.
2003.
Yeah,
God,
hadn't even...
We're all still high from 9/11.
Man, we were blood.
Maybe high is the wrong word.
What a simpler time.
Yeah, I just mainlined that domestic.
What's amazing about Jack Black is like everyone was like, man, he was so fat, and then you look at pictures of him back then, it's like he wasn't even that fat.
Yeah, I'm
He was
fatter
never
than
that
Jack.
fat.
He was not even. He did a whole movie of Shallow Hal about how he's fat and wouldn't marry a fat woman, and he wasn't even by American standards in 2024 that fat.
Yo, that's
Fat Hal is like the
that's
only
a regular
movie.
dude right there. That's me.
in
a regular
today's
ass dude.
age. That's a regular guy.
That guy could join the army now. That guy in this day and era, that guy could be in the army.
That's
that-
not even.
Shallow Hal
He's
was
so
essentially
not fat.
it was a coded movie just about how good fat girls' pussy is. I don't know if you guys have been with fat women. Some of the best pussy in the game. Fat women are some of the best sex you'll ever have in your life. And that was like the whole point of Shallow Hal is like, dude, the sex is so good. I just hate that people will make fun of it. Oh, what's that? The street joke that fat women are like Vespas. It's fun to ride, but you don't want your friends to see or whatever.
Yeah.
That's like that was like the thing in the early 2000s was like, yeah, dude, you know how having sex with fat women's the best? You guys you have sex with fat women? Or you a guy that's like, I don't like fat women.
No,
You're not in trouble, Sam. I'm not trying to bust you if you're not a fat girl fan,
No, I mean I'll sleep with people.
but not a fat woman.
I have.
You have
Sure.
with excitement or with reluctance.
Sure.
You're saying sure.
Well, I mean, most of the sex I have is I do feel like regret afterwards. Just,
Yeah.
but that's a personal shame.
I'm
thing.
gonna feel bad no
That's
matter
a
what
personal
happens, yeah.
shame thing.
I just feel bad after I come.
I don't think that's like really like a judgment on the woman. It's more of like I spend so much time in the Catholic Church and Lutheran Church.
John Cena talking about sex with a big woman's great.
Have you seen this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I mean.
Have you seen this?
I'm being a prude, but yeah, I enjoy sex.
No, have
with
you seen this
everybody.
John
I haven't
Cena
seen, No, I
video?
haven't seen this video.
Yeah, it's good, man.
Here we go.
What's Gooner recovery? Hang on,
Oh, hold
pause.
on.
Hang on, pause.
Pause.
Jimmy pulled up his Reddit. What's Gooner recovery? What's Gooner recovery?
We know what that is.
I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
It says on
It's
the
under
top.
your recent subreddits, Jimmy.
Oh, this is the computer for the studio. I have
Sure
no
it
idea.
is, buddy. Yeah, sure. Now my friend was using this computer.
Let's see what it
Well,
is.
we gotta pull up the the video of Norm Finkelstein exploring the concept of gooning. And
Is that real?
It's a real
What's
thing.
gooning?
Gooning is it's like the politer term for edging.
Porn addiction recovery. That's what it says. Gooner recovery.
Gooning is like
Specific
someone
fetish
who's
called gooning.
Yeah.
I watched a porn the other day, and it was like a first time I've watched porn in a really long time. It's because I was horny. My wife told me to watch porn. I said, "Ooh, that sounds hot." Like I got permission to do it. So I watched porn, and it was a gangbang. It was like this gross gangbang in this bowling alley, and there's just like this old guy that's a part of it. And at one point, they switch out, and he gets in front of the girl to get his dick sucked while a guy's reeling from behind, and he goes, "It's me!" like that. And I waited for my wife to get home, and I was like, "Babe, I watched porn. Check this out." And I showed her that part, and she was like, "Dude, you don't watch porn anymore. This isn't." I was like, "Is this not normal porn?" She's like, "These are the grossest people I've ever seen." And I was like, "It just seems real to me." I was like, "I like this porn because I feel like this is a gangbang that I'd be invited to." Like this, and she was so bummed out. She was like, "Watch hot people have sex. Never this again." But just the old guy going, "It's me," getting in front of me. I was like, "This is hilarious. I can't wait to show my wife this." And she's like, "Not the types of videos I want to see ever again."
It'd be hilarious if your wife started rattling off hot porn stars.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't know, Brandy Love.
You know, you have to say that next time you're with your wife. You gotta be, "It's me."
It's me. It's so funny. I even the girl in the gangbang kind of laughed a little. There was also one guy that was like in the gangbang kept
you like jovial threesomes.
Oh yeah, that's if I'm gonna watch porn, I want everyone to be having a good time. I want everyone to be having a fun, happy time in porn.
You like them laughing about an inside joke that happened before the cameras were on.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I want there to be like a some sort of intimacy there. I don't want it to be some sanitized studio, some rented house. I don't believe that's your stepmom, buddy.
You don't like bleached assholes.
No, absolutely
It's on
not.
your T-shirt.
Yeah.
You guys want to take this one home?
Let's watch the John Cena vid and close her out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like would you ever do a fat chick?
Absolutely. I believe it or not, there was an instance not too long ago where I hit the 280 mark.
You banged the chick. Wait a second.
Yeah.
Let me get this. International wrestling superstar John Cena took home a 280-pound chick.
She took me home. I didn't take her home.
Were you attracted to her?
Absolutely, and the experience was great.
She have a nice face?
She had a nice smile.
Why did you do that? I don't understand.
Well, first it was kind of a challenge set out to me by the entire roster, and it was like it was a thing where you won't do it. Okay, I'll do it, but it wasn't like
she approached you and said,
I'll
"Listen,
do it."
would you come back with me?"
There was just like a moment. I'm pretty polite and respectable to everybody, so there was that moment, and then she walks away, and then the boys start getting on. Yeah, you won't do it,
right.
And it wasn't like, okay, I'll do it. Tail between my legs going over there. I said, not only will I do it, I'll enjoy it, and I did. It was a great night.
And what was great about when a 280-pound girl takes her clothes off?
Rule.
Hell
Fat
yeah.
women.
We're pro larger women.
Never change, baby.
No.
Never change. Get that Ozempic out of here, baby. Oh, no, thank you. Keep that buku fat in your cheeks,
He's
please.
trying to fly his plane into your Iris building,
Absolutely.
baby.
Absolutely. Manifesto dedicated to you. Fat women. I fight this war for you.
All right, I'm Sam Castillo.
I'm JT Kelley.
And our producer.
What's up, Jimmy?
What up?
What's up? We'll see y'all soon next week.
God bless. One love.
Bye.